Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
It is a picture-perfect day in the Motor City and a perfect day for a ball game as we welcome you to Comerica Park in downtown Detroit. Game 2 in this 3-game weekend series featuring the Tigers and the visiting Cleveland Indians. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba alongside Jack Morris. Glad to have you with us for the middle game in this series. Now, the Tigers offense, it has sputtered the last couple of days, Jack, but that's all right. There are still two guys in this lineup, Kinsler and Castellanos. They've been getting it done.
Nice to see that they're off to a good start. Ian Kinsler has got a nice little hitting streak going, and Nick Castellanos is not only driving the ball at times, but he's also getting some of those flare hits, and that's what you need as a hitter to stay hot early in the year. And at least these two guys are off to a good start.
Ian Kinsler, a 10-game hitting streak so far this season. For Castellanos, he's been getting it done as well. So the Tigers offense certainly hoping that they can keep it going. Castellanos, good young hitter.
No question about it. I think this is what the Tigers expected out of him, maybe even as early as last year, but Nick kind of coming into his own this year, and maybe this will continue throughout the year. He'd be a dominant hitter like a lot of the other ones in this lineup.
And those two guys have done a really good job. However, they will face a guy today in Corey Kluber that has won a Cy Young in the past, but not really typical Corey Kluber numbers this year.
Well, he's off to a tough start, 0-3 with an over 6 ERA, but Corey Kluber has still got, on a given day, the ability to dominate a game. He does make a mistake or two, and typically all pitchers make mistakes over the course of a start, but his mistakes have cost him, and it'll be interesting to watch some of the guys in the lineup who have good numbers against him, whether or not they can capitalize on one of those mistakes.
Yeah, and for as good as Kluber has been in his career, he has struggled in his career against the Tigers hitters, and hopefully that'll be the case again here today. After a short break, we'll send you back to the Call Sam Studios. Check in with Justin White. Coming up in this one here this afternoon, Anibal Sanchez back on the hill for the Tigers in search of his 3rd win of the season. Stay with us. Tigers Tribe coming up next. Comerica Park as we get you ready for baseball this afternoon. The Indians and the Tigers in game 2 of this series. Anibal Sanchez getting ready to take the hill for the Tigers, and he is presented today by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
There's the numbers for Anibal this year, making his 4th start. ERA a little bit high. He's had a couple good games and then a clunker in there, and it'll be interesting to see if he can get first pitch strikes. He's thrown a lot of pitches to each hitter.
And the Indians lineup today presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Santana, Kipnis, and Lindor at the top. Mike Napoli had a rough night last night, but overall at Comerica, .282 in his lifetime. Gomes and Jose Ramirez playing third base. Then Chisenhall, you got Rajai Davis in the left and Tyler Naquin in center field. And for Sanchez, in search of his 3rd victory of the season, Anibal 2-1 coming off a start against the Houston Astros, in which he gave up a couple of home runs in that game. And here is Carlos Santana, who batted leadoff for the first time in his career last night, and it worked out pretty good.
Terry Francona decided that it worked out so well, he's going to do it again.
He'll drive this one in the air toward left center field, playable. It's Justin Upton, 1 pitch and 1 out.
Let's take a look at the Tigers starting defense presented by Beaumont Health. Little change out in center field. Anthony Gose will get the call. Jay Upton out in left and JD in right. Nick Castellanos at third. Andrew Romine will start instead of Iglesias. Kinsler and Cabrera around the infield, and then Jared Saltalamacchia will do the catching today.
Nothing like a 1 pitch out. That's how we start this one as Santana flies out. Here is Jason Kipnis. Gorgeous afternoon, a little bit chilly, but still plenty of sunshine, clear skies. There's a strike called on Kipnis. The Indians' second baseman at .264 this year, 1 home run. The 0-1 from Sanchez missing low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Kipnis last night was 1 for 4 in the opener. Really not a whole lot of offense to speak of last night. The Indians won at 2-1 on a pair of solo homers. There's a bouncer foul down the first base line, 1-2.
Yeah, Kipnis flied out 3 times against Verlander last night.
And everything, I think, was hit the other way toward third base and left field. Now Sanchez with the 1-2. Kipnis had a nice year last year, had a down season in 2014, but he returned to his all-star status last season for the Indians. And up the middle, there's his double play partner, Francisco Lindor, waiting on deck. Kipnis shoots one back up the middle, right by Sanchez into center.
That's a little bit scary right there. When you're on the mound, the ball comes back over 100 miles an hour right at your head. Take a look at this. Anibal just reacting to a ball right back at him, and we could not really see his reaction there. And we'll get a different look here. It's the kind of thing that, Mari, as a pitcher, you think back and you say, I should have caught that ball. But your reaction is a defense. You want to protect your head, and then the glove gets out after the fact.
Here's Lindor as he looks at a ball outside. How much of that do you think pitchers have in the back of their mind? I know most of them at this level don't think about those balls that are hit right back at them, but we've seen, at least in recent years, so many times where it's become dangerous.
No question. It's the scariest part of the game, and I look back over all the innings that I was throwing out in that hill, and I thought, you know, if I would have thought about it, I would have been a lot more concerned.
It would have been a mess.
Yeah, so I don't think you can think about it. The only thing I'll add to that is I did get hit several times, and it was in a short period of time, and it was because I was putting the ball right in the middle of the plate. And what I did is adjust to the corners, and the ball was either hit to the left side or the right side because of that adjustment. So that was something that I registered in the memory bank.
2 balls and no strikes on Lindor. He was 1 for 3 with a walk in last night's game. 1 on 1 out, just underway here at the ballpark. And Lindor takes outside to run the count to 3-0. Sanchez in his last start against the Astros ran into some trouble when he got behind in the count.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
You know, pitching is all about getting ahead. We talked about it in last night's game, and
there's the strike called, 3-1.
I'm sure new Tiger pitching coach Rich Doobie is preaching that to all the guys, whether you're in the rotation or the bullpen right now. He wants to preach to them, get ahead, work ahead in the count.
There's ball 4 to put 2 runners aboard now as Lindor gets his second walk in the series. Here are those numbers from his last start. He threw 110 pitches to get through 5 innings.
And that's really scuffling. And he's got to do a better job of that. Try to figure a way to work out of this one. Mike Napoli had a rough night at the plate last night. He had 4 straight strikeouts.
That's about as rough of a night as you can have. But now he's got an opportunity here with 2 men on in the first. And Napoli looks at ball 1.
We're talking about Anibal Sanchez. Look at Mike Napoli's runners in scoring position this season.
Nearly 300, 294. That is popped up, but heading back toward the seats out of play.
I think early in the ball game, pitchers maybe should have the catcher set up more in the middle of the plate instead of on the corners to make that perfect pitch early. You know, go ahead and attack the strike zone and trust your stuff that it'll move slightly and that it won't end up in the heart of the plate. It'll end up on a third, inside or outside.
1 ball and 1 strike. Swing and a miss. Napoli goes after a letter high pitch, 1-2.
As much as Mike Napoli is swinging and missing, this is one guy you really want to throw the ball over to. That is right in his wheelhouse, and yet he did not make any kind of contact.
Now the 1-2, and he got him, strike 3. 5 straight strikeouts for Napoli now. This one looking.
Well, he was definitely looking for number 2 and got number 1. Fastball right down the middle.
Well, you talk about wheelhouse. That one was right there as well.
Man, center cut.
So with 2 outs, here is Yan Gomes. Gomes off to a 200 start. He's hit 1 home run this year. He'll drive it foul, back out of play. Justin Verlander pitched certainly well enough to win last night, but the Tigers just could not get the offense going. The hope is today they will do so. JV was awfully good, despite the fact that he also was struggling with command at times.
He got through it, though. You look at his numbers and you say, how does he not win with that? 10 strikeouts, only 4 hits allowed, 2 runs. Got to win with that.
1 ball, 1 strike. There are those that will say that's why wins and losses for pitchers don't mean a whole lot.
Yeah, I need to talk to those guys.
I'm just trying to stir it up early here.
Really?
Here's the 1-1. Fouled straight back, 2-1. But see, last night a perfect example. Now Verlander should have won that ball game last night purely based on his numbers, but he can't help it if the offense can't get the run.
No, he can't, and that's what John Lowe invented the quality start all over.
He did.
Give him some kind of credit for it.
1-2 on Yan Gomes. Hammered to center field. It is sinking, and it's going to drop. Base hit. A run will score. Lindor goes to third standing up, and it's an RBI hit for Yan Gomes.
Initially reacting, I thought Anthony Gose was going to get to this ball.
Me too.
But it did not hang up as long as I thought it was going to. Take another look at it. Drops right in front of Gose. He gets kind of caught in between, and then Lindor does a good job of just not stopping at second base, rounding second and taking third. So now we got runners at the corners for Jose Ramirez.
Sixth RBI of the year for Gomes, a bloop single to center, and for the second straight game, the Indians have a 1-0 lead in the first. There's a strike called on Ramirez. Jose playing third base in the ball game today. They had Uribe playing third base last night. .256 batting average for Ramirez. Here's the strike called, 0-2. Ramirez had 3 stints with the big club last year. Now Sanchez with the 0-2. Indians with their win last night back up to 500 at 7-7. The Tigers now just 1 game over the 500 mark. Terry Francona celebrated a birthday last night with a win. Here's the 0-2 again. Another foul back out of play. There comes a time when you just stop having birthdays, I think.
Well, unless your name's Bert Blyleven.
Oh, really? He enjoys them, huh?
Oh, I think so. Yeah. And what's funny is he has a whole cult of people that follow him that also have a birthday on the same day.
And again, the 0-2 backs him out of there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So Sanchez now about to throw his 25th pitch here in the first inning. And after the strikeout of Napoli, it looked like he might get out of the jam.
Well, we talked about it earlier. Annabelle is averaging 19+ pitches per inning, and that's just too high. He's got to do a better job. That's how you leave the ball game too early. Don't get the bullpen a chance.
Well, from 0-2 now, he's gone to 2-2.
Tried to hit the inside corner, and that's what I was talking about. If you're setting over the heart of the plate and you get a little bit of movement, that ball is probably going to be a strike. Borderline pitch right there. Adrian Johnson, the home plate umpire.
Little chopper back up the middle into center field. Base hit. That'll get another run in. Gomes on his way to third. And the Indians now pecking away. They have a 2-0 lead.
You don't get a call, and then the next pitch hits too much of the plate. A little breaking ball that stayed up. Really nothing that Jose Ramirez tried to do special with that. It just put the ball in play, drives it right back up the middle, and that plates another run for the Indians.
2 runs on 3 hits in the inning for Cleveland. They're still going here. Lonnie Chisenhall will stand in. It's been a slow start to the season for Chisenhall, but a lot of that has to do with a wrist injury that he's been trying to get over. Really didn't have much of a spring either. And Ramirez will draw a throw. Chisenhall looks at a strike, 0-1.
Mario, I know you're very familiar as an avid archerer to have bow dampeners to help the vibration. Well, that's what Chisenhall's wearing on his wrist. There is a device to help kind of.
Yeah, archery is probably the first thing I do.
Well, yeah, and you have them on your rifles too. I know that, but
really, seriously, that's what he has on his wrist there, huh?
Yeah, it's just a little bit of tape to help with that whole thing. You know, there's a lot of vibration goes through the hands of a hitter.
Fastball high, runner goes, throwing to center field. And another run will score as Saltalamacchia fires one into center. He is normally very accurate, but the Indians now have a 3-0 lead. And a very bumpy start for the Tigers here in the first.
Terry Francona knows that Jared Saltalamacchia can be a little erratic with his throwing. You see Ramirez hustling the second, throw not even close, and he's able to scoot on over to third. Yan Gomes scores.
Ramirez gets a stolen base. E2 allows the third run to score. And Ramirez goes all the way to third. Chisenhall trying to drive him in. First error of the ball game for the Tigers, who started this year really as a very good defensive team. That's way high. Now Sanchez has just delivered his 30th pitch of the inning, and here's the breakdown.
19 strikes, 11 balls, just too many pitches. Stating the obvious right here, but Annabelle just not feeling it yet.
Here's the 2-2. High, 3-2.
I don't think that was by design. I don't think that's a chase up in the zone type of pitch right there. He's just rushing it a little. Got to stay back with his back leg.
Ground ball to second. Should end the inning. Kinsler has it there to retire the side. However, the Indians break out on top with a 3-run first. The bottom of the first here at Comerica Park. Tigers starting lineup presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Kinsler, Upton, and Miguel Cabrera at the top. No changes there. Victor Martinez, your DH. He has hammered Kluber over the years. JD is in right. Castellanos at third. Saltalamacchia catching. Then Romine at short. And Ghost is in center field. And they are facing the right-handed offerings of Corey Kluber.
Not typical start for Corey Kluber. A little bit slow for him, but he's going to be out there battling. We talk about the fact that Corey Kluber is one of the best in the game, and on any given day he can dominate. He's got a 3-run lead to work with.
So here is one of the hottest Tigers hitters, Ian Kinsler, a 10-game hitting streak coming into play this afternoon. And Kluber starts him off up high. 1 ball and no strikes. .358 batting average, and that is good for third in the American League. Fouled back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You throw a 10-game hitting streak in there, and you realize that it's a great start for Ian Kinsler.
And really, it's a continuation of what he did in spring training this year and what he did in the second half of last year. He has just been on a roll. That'll miss inside. 2 balls and 1 strike.
He's got the body type of a guy that just seems like he's always in great shape. In fact, if anything, from my eyes, he looks a little thinner than he was last year.
2-1 pitch is fouled back out of play. The other thing about Kinsler is he goes out there every single day.
Yeah, he does.
You know, and that gets real demanding as August, September rolls around. You're in a pennant race, and of course the Tigers weren't last year, but still he is out there every day, logging a lot of innings. And Kluber just missed on the outside corner. 3-2.
That's the kind of pitch that Corey Kluber really needs and wants. Ball just nipping the bottom quadrant of the strike zone.
Fouled away. Kluber is 30 years old now, out of Jacksonville, Florida, 6'4", 215. He lost 16 games last year, which doesn't seem conceivable, but when you look at his ERA, it was 3.49. You realize he just didn't get a lot of run support. Again, the 3-2. And he got him, strike three. Kinsler knew it.
Just a little bit of a breaking ball. See, a little bit of a cutter, just sent enough break. I think Ian was maybe sitting on a bigger breaking ball, and that one just locked him up.
That'll bring up Justin Upton. Upton batting .227, was 1 for 4 in last night's game. And in fact, Justin was responsible for the Tigers' only run, an RBI double in the 6th.
Strikeouts are being a concern for Justin Upton.
Well, he does lead the American League in strikeouts right now. I don't know how much of that is coming to a new league and the adjustment of seeing different pitching, but with interleague play as prevalent as it is now, I don't know how much that really has an effect. The 1-1. 1-2 on Upton. Now, Jack, when you think about it, once Upton gets going, once Miggy gets going, I mean, those are two really solid pieces right now that just aren't performing to their normal levels.
Well, there's the argument that JD isn't really heated up yet. Nick Castellanos is pretty hot early in the season. Those guys all possess power.
Ooh, up and in, 2-2.
Victor can certainly lead the yard when he squares them up. There's JD Martinez.
Castellanos off to a fine start. There's another foul back out of play. Really, when you look at the Tigers' fortunes this year, without some of the big guys doing what they normally do in Upton and Cabrera, guys at the bottom have done some good work, like Iglesias and Castellanos and Saltalamacchia. Again, the 2-2, and again it's fouled off. How many games do you think, Jack, it normally takes at the start of the season before the manager has a really good grasp of what time of team he's going to have and really what kind of year you might have?
Tom Kelly used to say, give me 20 games.
That's it?
Give me 3 weeks and I'll let you know where we're at. And that's kind of where we are right now in the season.
The 2-2 again, swing and a miss, and Upton goes down, 2 away.
Tim Hortons brings you the starting defense for the Cleveland Indians. We'll take a look at that right now. Rajai Davis out in left field. Naquin and Chisenhall the rest of the outfield. Jose Ramirez gets the start at third today. Francisco Lindor, Kipnis, and Napoli around the infield, and Yan Gomes doing the catching again.
Corey Kluber starts it off with a pair of strikeouts, and now Miguel Cabrera. Ball 1 to Miggy. And the Cabrera batting average right now at .220 with 1 homer and 6 driven in. Kluber's 1-0. That's in for a strike. This has not been a really good matchup for Kluber. The Bernstein advantage brings you the pitcher-batter matchup, and scope out these numbers. .571.
I would say that that's a clear advantage to the hitter.
5 home runs as well against Kluber. In there, a strike called, 1-2.
Our visual guys gave us a lot of looks at some of those hits that Miggy has hit off of Kluber, and most of the pitches were balls that were out over the plate. They were not pitchers' pitches, and that's why great hitters do their damage.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And that is not really a small sample either.
No, it's
35 at bats.
That's a career for a lot of guys.
Ground ball slowly towards short. Lindor has it. And Kluber has a 1-2-3 first inning. We'll go to the second. 3-0 Cleveland. At the ballpark today, the Indians and the Tigers getting together in game 2 in this 3-game series. Indians on top 3-0 as we go to the top of the second. It'll be the former Tiger Rajai Davis to lead things off. Davis, Naquin, and then Santana back up to the top of the order. Davis batting .250 this year. A couple of homers for the Indians. Rajai swings in the first and pops it up. Foul ground. Who wants it? Cabrera does. 1 pitch, 1 away.
Well, that's how the game started. 1 pitch, 1 away. Let's take a look at that first inning. After a base hit by Kipnis, Lindor walks, and then the floodgates kind of start opening. Annabelle ends up with way too many pitches. Saltamachia throws one away. That scores the 3rd run. The Tribe have a 3 spot in the first inning.
Yeah, and Sanchez threw 32 pitches in that first. Here's Tyler Naquin. He looks at a strike on the outer edge. 0-1. Naquin, the center fielder, has hit in his last 4. Had 1 hit in the ball game last night. Swings and misses. 0-2. .320 batting average for the Indians rookie. And Sanchez makes quick work of Naquin as he dusts him for his 2nd strikeout of the ballgame. Here are the field conditions presented by Ace Hardware and the Scotts Company. It's only 52 degrees outside, but it must feel much better because there's plenty of sunshine, and that's the forecast for today. Sunny and not much humidity.
Beautiful.
This is the point where you're supposed to get on me for putting the heater on in the booth.
Well, you know, some guys are just made that way. I can't help it.
What do you say?
How did I do? It's a gorgeous day.
There's a ball outside of Santana.
Now, I got to explain this to the listeners. Mario asked me if we should open the windows, and I told him, I said, I'm part-time. You're full-time. You decide. The windows are open. It's baseball.
Start calling you PT. Part-time Jack. 2-1 on Santana. That's one of the little-known secrets to fans when we do April baseball and it's 30-40 degrees out. We've got the heaters blaring here in the booth. Although today you probably don't need them. 2-2 on Carlos Santana, who flied to left in his first at bat. Sanchez trying to get out of this inning with a quick 1-2-3. It would help his pitch count. Here's a fly ball in the air to shallow right field.
Look at this.
And it's going to drop between Castellanos and Martinez.
When you're hot, you're hot.
A couple of those already.
They have a shift on. Castellanos is playing shallow right field, and yet he's still able to bloop it. You can see right here where Nick is, and the ball's still able to go over his head. A jam shot, maybe a broken bat.
He'll bring up Kipnis. 2-out base runner for the Indians. That is their 4th hit already in this game. And Kipnis has really the only hit that has been hit really hard, and that was that line drive right back through the box in the first inning. The 0-1 with a runner going. Popped him up. Left side of the infield for Castellanos. That'll end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. To the bottom of the 2nd we go. We go to the bottom half of the 2nd. Victor Martinez will lead things off against Corey Kluber. MGM Grand Detroit brings you the scouting report on Kluber.
You see that Corey won the Cy Young in the American League in 2014. He's had a whole pile of strikeouts since then, and he had one great game where he fanned 18 hitters back in May of 2015.
That was against the Cardinals, and the incredible thing about that game is, I mean, the 18 strikeouts, he did not walk a single batter in that game. 18 punch-outs.
The good thing, his pitch count would have been too high. He would have leave.
That's a good point. Yeah, the no walk saved him. Here is Victor Martinez. They've got the shift on against Victor. How about that ball that Victor hit last night in the 9th inning? An absolute rocket right into the shift.
Yeah, that's exactly why they shift. We were talking about it before the game today. That probably would have been a double even for Victor. Ball would have rattled around in the right field corner.
2 balls, no strikes on Martinez. He's followed by J.D. Martinez and then Nick Castellanos. Kluber had a 1-2-3 first with a pair of strikeouts. Here's the 2-0. That ball's hit well into right field, but it's going to hold up there long enough for Chisenhall. One gone. You remember what was the most strikeouts you had in one game?
I wasn't big on. I mean, I think I had 12 maybe, but it might have been an extra inning game.
Really?
Yeah.
Here's J.D. Martinez. J.D. batting .298. The average has slipped below 300. And that's because of an 0 for 13 skid that he's in right now. Swing and a miss.
You can almost tell when hitters have swings like that, they're just not recognizing the pitch. That ball, first pitch that JD has seen, and he's swinging at a ball that's out of the zone. Sometimes you just need to take a ball, even if it's down the middle of the plate or in your wheelhouse, just so you can recognize the pitch.
Kluber has one of the quietest windups that I've seen. There's not really too many moving parts for him.
That's a good thing. I think more and more pitching coaches are trying to teach that. Very small baby step to get into a set position.
A base hit for JD, snapping that 0 for 13.
So JD gets the first Tigers base runner. Base hit sharply to left. Got a lot better pitch to hit there. Squares it up. Drives it out there to left field. Former teammate Rajai Davis.
Here's Nick Castellanos. Nick feeling good these days at .346. He has an 8-game hitting streak. And that batting average is 5th best in the American League. One 1-0 on Castellanos. He was 1 for 3 in the ball game last night. Had a single in the 7th.
Yeah, in a game where the Tigers did not get a lot of offense generated against Josh Tomlin.
And the Tigers had only 4 hits in that ball game. The 1-0. 2 balls, no strikes. Saw that graphic a second ago. Over 400 in his last 7 games for Castellanos. He is hitting the ball extremely hard these days. Kluber has fallen behind 2-0. And a ground ball to third. This might be 2. A 5, a 4, and a 3. And a double play ends the inning for the Tigers. They hit it right at him. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise our expectations of what a bank can be when it's time. Come to Comerica. the all-new 2017 Chrysler Pacifica, and by Kroger. Back here at the ballpark where it's 3-0 in favor of the Indians. The Tigers have only one hit so far as we go to the top of the third. And here is Francisco Lindor. He looks at a strike, 0-1.
Lindor walked and did a good job of running the bases, ended up scoring in that first inning. He's already earned quite a reputation, I think, and respect from the American League pitching. They're very careful with him. The guy can put the ball in play and run well.
Well, I know Michael Brantley is still shelved after that shoulder surgery. Should be back sometime soon, but Lindor has slid right into that 3 spot in their lineup. And he'll pull that one on the ground and through. Base hit out of the reach of a diving Miguel Cabrera.
You know, I know that it's not really a great comparison because of where he's at in his career, but some guys just have that natural, uncanny ability to put the ball in the holes. And I'm thinking of Tony Gwynn when I look at Lindor sometimes. And Tony, you know, he literally could shut his eyes and know to hit the ball in between shortstop, third base, or pull the ball between first base and second base. Lindor has already got a couple hits in this series that he's done that.
Only 22 years old. He stutter stepped off the bag at first base. Looked like he wanted to go and then stopped. Spun his wheels a little bit. And now he's going to draw a look from Sanchez.
I've got to believe he's got the green light here. Napoli not going to be too distracted. If he is, it's only because he hasn't made contact in his first trip through Detroit. 5 strikeouts in all 5 plate appearances.
Now Sanchez ready, and again he'll go back to first base. Lindor, for all of the good things he can do, can also steal a bag or two. He had 12 last year in 99 games for the Tribe, but has stolen as many as 27 in the minor leagues. Runner bluffs again, and Napoli takes high. 2 balls and no strikes.
What he's doing is distracting Sanchez a little bit on the mound. When you know a guy has the ability to steal a base, you've got to have a little quicker step to home, and that sometimes just takes away from your focus on hitting that catcher's glove.
Runner goes, swing and a miss. Salty's throw not in time, gets away from Kinsler, but not far enough. And another steal for the Indians, their second of the game.
And another throw from Salty that's just not on target. Took Ian Kinsler well off the bag there just to try to catch that ball in the dirt.
So move Lindor to second with nobody out. 2-1 on Mike Napoli. 3 steals now for Lindor. There's a base hit to right. Martinez will charge it. They're going to hold the runner at third base. Napoli's first hit, and really first contact in this series, and now it's first and third.
I wonder if there's any correlation between that particular swing from Mike Napoli and the ones that he's tried to go downtown. He just tried to make contact there. That's beating the Mike Scioscia shift that's a fad nowadays by just going the other way. And JD comes up with it. Strong throw to the cutoff man, and they had to hold Lindor at third base.
And that'll be 6 hits already for the Indians offense. Here's Yan Gomes, who knocked one in with a base hit in the first. It was a bloop single for Gomes. Sanchez had a snappy inning in the second, but now in more trouble here in the third. And a drive high in the air to left field. Upton going back. He's headed to the wall. He looks up, and that ball is out of here. It's gone. A home run for Gomes. 3-run shot to left. and it's 6-0 Cleveland.
These are the kind of pitches that a pitcher senses before the ball actually comes out of his hand. And you know that it's going to be a hanging breaking ball. You'll see the grip. There it is right there. The ball stays up in the zone right over the heart of the swinging zone for Yan Gomes. And it's been a bad start for Anibal after that swing.
There's a bouncer to second base. Kinsler has it there, and Ramirez is out. First out of the inning. So the home run ball, which was a problem for Sanchez last year, he gave up 29 of them. And has given up a 3-run shot here. Gave up 2 homers in his last start. And Upton just ran out of room. Chisenhall looks at a strike. Early action in the Tigers bullpen, huh?
Kyle Ryan.
Chisenhall is 0 for 1. Cleveland now 6 runs on 7 hits. Ball high, 1-2. Toward right center field and hit well. That'll get down and go all the way to the wall. Extra bases. That's up there in Triple's alley, and it looks like a 3-bagger for Chisenhall. It is. He found the gap in right center field, and once it gets out there, it's usually a triple.
Deepest part of this ballpark, you could tell right from the release. The ball is again up in the zone, out over the plate. Chisenhall keeps his head still. Once it gets by JD Martinez, Anthony Ghost and him have to try to chase it down. Lonnie Chisenhall runs well. Easy triple for him.
8 hits now for Cleveland. Rich Doobie is out to have a chat with Sanchez as Ryan continues to warm up. And the Indians trying to build on their 6-0 lead. Rajai Davis trying to drive in a run. Infield coming in for the Tigers. Davis pops it up foul, heading back to the seats. Well, Sanchez was hoping to make some strides with this new delivery he has. It is a streamlined delivery where he's not twisting and turning as much as he was in the past. They worked on it in the offseason and in spring training. And admittedly, Sanchez has said that he's not totally comfortable with it yet. A little bit outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I know that you can't judge anything by just observing a guy for a couple innings, but I've noticed that a lot of his pitches have been up in the zone, and by rotating his hip, he might be staying back just a tad longer, which gets his arm up higher and can deliver that ball on the downward plane, keeping it down in the zone more. So maybe this whole thing is maybe backfired on him until he gets used to it.
Now the 1-1 line drive, base hit, right field. Rajai Davis hammers a single to right center. That'll drive in another run as Chisenhall scores. Boy, the Indians have their hit spikes on today. It's a 7-0 game. It's going to be it.
Yeah, not much choice for Rod Osmus. It's just not a good one for Anibal. Another fastball up in the zone.
Well, it's going to be a wall side windows pitching change. Sanchez will not survive the 3rd today, and we'll be back. Bullpen much earlier than they anticipated today. Sanchez out of the game. Kyle Ryan will take over.
6th game for Kyle, as you can see. No earned runs yet, so he's done a good job. He's going to be asked to bridge a few innings here and hope that the Tigers can get back into this ball game. All Cleveland so far.
And it'll be Tyler Naquin with 1 on and still only 1 out. 9 hits already for the Indians. It's a ball high, 1-0. Naquin, a strikeout victim back in the 2nd. Sanchez would throw 60 pitches in the game before departing here in the 3rd. Foul back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike.
These are real gut checks for baseball teams when you have a start like this. It's early in the year and you just don't want to throw in the towel. You've got to grind it out and hope that with all the innings left to be played that you can scratch your way back into this game.
Yeah, run or 2 at a time.
But you spot a former Cy Young Award winner, a guy like Corey Kluber, and you hope that he can maybe lose a little focus and allow you back in.
Two balls and 1 strike. Well, Kyle Ryan, or not Kyle Ryan, but Buck Farmer was sent down last week when the Tigers got a couple of bullpen pieces back. That pretty much left the Tigers without one of those bridge guys, as you mentioned, a guy that can throw 2, 3, 4 innings out of the bullpen. Ryan will try and gobble up as much as he can here. But one of the worst nightmares for a manager is to have to go to the bullpen in the first third of the ball game. 7 runs, 9 hits for the Indians. No runs, 1 hit for the Tigers. Runner goes. They got him picked. Here's the throw to second, and he is out at second base. Off the bag. Davis may have beaten the throw, but he might have overslid the bag. That'll help.
Terry Francona is hard to see there because part of Romine's foot was blocking the hand from that angle. And Terry Francona says, no, you got it right. And that's where he got him, maybe right there.
Yep. Did not come off by much.
That's something every infielder is being taught. There's another ball hit hard.
To deep left field, to the track, to the wall. That's up against the wall. And that'll go as a double for Naquin. He hit it the opposite way as Upton got turned around out there and left.
Yeah, not a very good route for Justin Upton there. The sun might have factored in on that one, but that was the old banana route. And he should have got back to the wall. Easier said than done sometimes. But he played it into the sun.
And now Santana. Carlos a single and a fly ball, 1 for 2. Switch hitter batting right-handed. Ball 1 from Ryan. Indians already have 10 hits. This is the 8th man to bat in the inning for Cleveland. Pulled fair down the left field line. This will get another run in. Santana has extra bases and he will pull into second, and it's 8-0 Cleveland.
It's another case where maybe that'll go unnoticed after all these hits, but Justin Upton bobbled that ball, and that was just enough to allow Santana to take that extra base. He might have had a play at second had he fielded it cleanly. And now another runner in scoring position for Cleveland.
And Santana now has 4 hits in the series. Ninth man to bat in the inning, Jason Kipnis. We're in the third inning, and Kipnis is now taking his third at bat. Single pop-up so far in this game. Ball low. Wow, look at that. 6 for 8 with men in scoring position today for the Indians. 2-0 the count.
Lopsided game so far, and that's one of the main reasons. First of all, too many guys in scoring position, and then you give up the hits when they're there.
Well, the tone of this game was set early in the first inning when Sanchez threw 32 first inning pitches.
And think about that. He got the very first out of the game on one pitch.
Right.
So he needed 31 pitches to get the next 2 outs.
Here's the 3-0. And it's in there, 3-1 on Kipnis. Waiting on deck, Francisco Lindor. Ryan's 3-1. Lost him, ball 4. That'll put 2 men on. Time for a game break now. We check in with Johnny Kane.
This is Francisco Lindor.
All right, Johnny, thanks. Here it is, 8-0, a 5-run third, and the Indians may not be done yet. Here is Lindor to bat for the second time in the inning. First and second, 2 outs. And Lindor pops it straight up. Kinsler to the grass in short center to retire the side. Finally, 10 men to the plate. And a big inning for the Indians. They have broken it open early. Lead early in this game as we get ready to go to bottom of the third inning, and you'll see the Tigers play the Oakland A's April 25th through the 28th, and get 4 tickets, hot dogs, chips, and drinks for just $16 per person. It's the weekday value pack. Visit tigers.com/value or call 866-66-TIGER. Some work to be done here as Corey Kluber goes back to the hill facing Saltalamacchia, Romine, and Ghosts.
Mario, you were mentioning that Corey Kluber had a tough year last year, losing 16 ball games, and he didn't get a lot of run support. Maybe that crazy teeter-totter effect will change right here. He's spotted with 8. And I remember a guy used to tell his teammates, if you want to win, get 10. I've never lost with 10.
That's driven back out of play. 0-2. Who would that be?
Your partner.
Well, it's hard to lose with 10.
Yeah, I never did. Ever.
Here's the 0-2 now to Saltalamacchia. And he got him strike 3. Caught him looking. So Kluber now has 3 strikeouts.
Not sure what this was. 92 mile an hour. It had to be a fastball. Maybe Salty thought the ball was up.
Like it might have been, but
yeah.
Fox Track said it just caught the upper reaches of the strike zone. They'll bring up Romine. Andrew is getting the start at short today with Iglesias taking the afternoon off. You know, you're bringing up something, Jack, in the last half inning, and you talk about getting 10 and, you know, getting a lot of runs. How difficult is it for Kluber or anybody else in this position to maintain that focus, knowing you have such a huge cushion? There's a ground ball to first, right through the wickets of Napoli. Goes taking the turn, going to try it for 2. And the throw not in time. Anthony is in there. Now Romine, rather. That'll bring up Ghost.
It's got to be an error.
It's got to be right through his legs.
Well, the wickets. I never quite understand that one. I've never heard your legs called the wickets, but I've heard that saying. Balls hit through your wickets. So
right.
Anyway, the wickets did not do their job there.
No, not that time.
Back to your question about a lot of runs to work with. There is a fine line. I think your rhythm is what is most important, but I don't know a pitcher that wouldn't prefer to get a lot of runs because there's more room for error, and you can have time to refocus if you lose focus a little bit. But this is what Corey Kluber really needs. Now, if you're an Indian fan, this is the kind of game that you've been hoping for, and if he should falter in this one, it would be pretty ugly for Cleveland fans because he's had a rough start, has not won a game yet, and now he's spotted with 8.
ERA over 6 coming in for Kluber. Ghost trying to drive in a run now, and he sends a ground ball to second. There is Kipnis for the out. Anthony is gone. Romine to third with 2 outs for Ian Kinsler. Well, the Tigers typically have hit Kluber extremely well. In fact, Kluber against the Tigers is 2-6 career, and his ERA is almost 5. Ian struck out in the first inning.
There is something to be said about a team that their big guy, when they're not going well, it affects the whole lineup. And it's a lot of pressure to put on one guy, and it's really not fair, I don't believe. But everybody's so used to Miguel Cabrera carrying this ball club offensively, and the fact that he's had a slow start to his season. There's the numbers for Corey Kluber against the Tigers.
So you think it's possible that because of that, other hitters in the lineup feel they might have to do more? I
sometimes feel they put a little pressure on themselves, but I'm just stating as kind of a general observation from my point. I mean, I've seen other teams where their star player is not going well, and it seems like 3 or 4 other guys that might be able to pick them up aren't going well too, and it usually happens in short periods of time. And I got to believe that it won't be long before Miggy gets going, and maybe some of the other guys will follow suit.
Kinsler waits on a 2-1. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Cabrera came in batting .220, which is un-Cabrera-like.
He's been doing a lot of extra work too. He's not cheating himself. He's trying to get back in there. It's a feel thing for hitters.
Into shallow right field. And Chisenhall will end the threat for the Tigers. No runs in air. Tigers leave a man at third. On top, 8-0 is our score as Kyle Ryan goes back to the hill. And for Cleveland, it'll be Mike Napoli to get it started. Napoli, then Gomes, then Ramirez. Indians hit around in the last half inning that they were up, sending 10 men to the plate in the top of the third.
Pitchers are always taught avoid that ugly crooked number. And the third inning was an ugly crooked number in all aspects. 5 runs scored, 7 hits.
Napoli bends away from a ball up and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Napoli had a single as part of that 5-run third. He hit it the other way to right field. This time a bouncer towards short. Romine on the charge. 1 away. Did you see what happened last night in Chicago?
A triple play, and this is an unusual one. Right fielder, number 9, throws it to first baseman. Number 3 finally tags out the runner there. He throws it home. 2 over to shortstop. 6 runs down the Beltray, and then Prince Fielder back to 2, back to 5, and gets the triple play.
You got a future as a play-by-play man. That was awfully good. It's a tough play to follow.
Was it awful or was it good?
Well, it was there.
You don't see that one every day, folks. That's all I can say.
It was the old 9-3, 2-6, 2-5 triple play. First triple play for the White Sox in nearly 10 years. Here's Yan Gomes. Another ground ball left side. Romine has another chance. 2 up, 2 down. It'll bring up Ramirez. See, a triple play like that would wreak havoc with the score sheet. Absolute havoc.
It wouldn't be the prettiest kind of thing you want to frame and give it to somebody who archives it.
No, I mean, after a while you just give up and put.
Although I got to
TP.
believe that the fact that it was a unique triple play, that's the kind of thing that people want to save.
True. Here's Ryan's 0-1 pitch. Ramirez takes outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tigers today have been out hit 11-1 on what otherwise is a spectacular day here at the ballpark. That's in the air towards shallow center field, and it's going to be a diving play out there in center by Anthony Gose. It looked like another bloop hit for the Indians, but a diving play by Gose. Kyle Ryan has an 8-pitch inning. Stretch it out, Ghost. Nice play.
Look at what we think is the big boys' big play of the game right here. Anthony Gose, a little slow jump, but he overcomes that by running this one down, stretches out. Great catch right there to end the inning. Kyle Ryan appreciates the effort.
Here's Justin Upton to start things off for the Tigers. We head to the bottom of the fourth. Upton, Cabrera, Martinez facing Corey Kluber. Justin struck out in the first inning. Kluber in this ball game has fanned 3. Now the 0-1. That one bends low. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Corey Kluber's velocity isn't where it can be at times. He can touch the mid-90s, and I think he's topped out in the low 90s. Breaking ball, obviously his go-to pitch when he's ahead in the count.
In his last 2 starts, I was looking up, I'd read the same thing. His velocity is down. His last 2 starts, the velocity was clocked pretty much an average of 92, 93 for that fastball. So it is a couple of ticks down.
And that's plenty good when you're locating it right.
Yeah.
And you've got that great put-away breaking ball like Corey has in his slider.
Swing and miss, and Upton strikes out again. And that is 4 of them now for Kluber.
There's the range right there on the high speed, low speed for Corey Kluber, 94 and 82.
Kluber had a really good spring camp, 4-1, 2.19 ERA. But the results up until today have not been all that good in his first handful of starts. Ball 1 to Cabrera. Kluber allowed 6 runs against New York in his last start. That came in 6 innings. Drilled toward left field. And it's going to be right at Rajai Davis. Well, even when Miggy hits it hard, it's at someone. Can't buy one. Hey, today's game is being broadcast on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces serving around the world on land and at ships at sea. We welcome you all and thank you for your service.
Yes, thank you so much. And be safe.
2 up, 2 down here in the fourth. That'll bring up Victor Martinez. The only Tigers hit in this game was a J.D. Martinez single in the second. Fouled off the mask of Yan Gomes. In fact, he knocked it off.
Victor getting a good pitch right there and just not able to square it up. That's a ball that he can handle. He's kind of looking for it, trying to go the other way. Outer half, but belt high.
Victor hit a ball hard to the outfield his first time up, but caught on a line. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the Chevy Silverado most dependable player. Part of the order for the Tigers, we're going to go players today. As you look at Cabrera, Martinez, and Martinez, they've done good work against the Indians.
Yeah, those are great numbers, especially in the power department. Lots of home runs.
Two and one. Checked it, strike called to the outside corner. 2-2 on Martinez. Should he reach? J.D. waiting on deck. .50 now.
Ball strikes for Corey, yeah.
Sanchez threw 60 before departing in the third in this game, and that one is just a skosh outside. 3-2.
The last 2 pitches are the pitches that Corey Kluber really came into household name when he won the Cy Young. That backdoor breaking ball that could catch the outside corner. He got the one previous to the last pitch. The last one was outside.
Kluber won the Cy Young 2 years ago, was 18-9 for the Tribe. He struck out 269 that year in about 234 innings. A part of what is considered one of the best starting rotations in the American League.
Well, certainly Josh Tomlin threw a gem last night. Corey Kluber getting spotted a lot of runs. He's on point right now.
Another strikeout, 5th of the ball game for Corey Kluber. 4 in the books. Top 5 here at the ballpark, Tigers and Indians, and it's been all Cleveland so far today. In this one, Kyle Ryan is back out there. Lonnie Chisenhall looks at a strike to begin things here in the 5th. Chisenhall, Davis, and Naquin. Bottom 3 facing Ryan, who had a 1-2-3 4th. Kyle trying to give the Tigers some innings here after Sanchez was bumped in the third, if nothing else, to help save the bullpen a little bit.
Tiger defenders have been on their feet quite a while already in this game, and it was good to see Kyle get him in the dugout right away in the last half inning. Hopefully he can get that done again. Gorgeous day here in downtown Detroit. Lots of sunshine.
And a good crowd here at the ballpark. The 0-2 is in the air toward left. Upton started back, now he's in. 1 out. Did you see that throw that Yasiel Puig made last night?
I did, and you get to watch it right now. He goes back to the fence, does not get up high enough, picks up the ball. Story's rounding second base, airmails it, and a perfect throw to get him at third base. So as he comes into the dugout, old school coaches would shake your hand and then remind him, hey kid, you missed the cutoff guy.
A remarkable throw like that, yet he did
Wow.
miss the cutoff man by a mile.
Just a tremendously strong arm.
Unbelievable. And that's what is so intriguing about Puig. He has his detractors, there's no doubt, but the raw physical skills are just intimidating sometimes. Rajay Davis, an RBI single in this game, 1 for 2. Ball low, 1-1. Raj 272 in 2 years with the Tigers. Stole 54 bases. And slicing away from Cabrera. I was trying to think of some of the terrific right field arms in your era. I think that Dewey Evans probably comes to mind, right?
Oh yeah, he had a great one. Reggie Jackson had a great arm when he was young. Of course, Tiger fans will never forget number 6, Al Kaline.
Of course.
Great arm.
But you don't see outfielders show off the guns anymore because there's just no infield taken before games now. Infield, outfield, that is.
I think today's game, accuracy is probably more getting to the ball quickly and then having an accurate arm. You don't necessarily have to have that arm that can throw from 440 straightaway center to home plate, but a lot of guys get assists because they have tremendous accurate arms.
2-2 on Rajay Davis. Bouncer back up the middle for Kinsler. 2 outs. So Kyle Ryan has settled this down quite a bit. Stay tuned to Tigers Live. Following the game, we'll select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers Player of the Game, presented by McDonald's. Stop by for your favorite breakfast treats all day long, now being served all day at McDonald's. We'll have our Player of the Game coming up. Tyler Naquin. Naquin a double and a run scored. Ryan was probably going into camp not one of the guys that Tigers anticipated would make the team, but there were some injuries obviously to a couple of guys in the bullpen and the rotation. Daniel Norris went down, Hardy and Alex Wilson were on the DL at the start of the year, but Ryan has come up to the big leagues and really kind of taken advantage of this early season chance.
I gotta believe for Brad Ausmus, it's really nice to have 3 left-handers in the bullpen right now.
Sure.
Kind of a balance. You can mix and match well. Certainly would rather have the starters go deep into the games, and he addressed that in yesterday's pregame meeting, that starters throwing way too many pitches early in the games and that they need them to get deeper in the game and kind of give that bullpen more of a rest. But Kyle Ryan doing a great job in today's game so far. You just mentioned the McDonald's Player of the Game. Right now he's got to get my vote.
He's the leader. Yeah, I would agree. The Tigers have only 1 hit, but Ryan has come out of the pen and retired 6 straight now. Chopper to the shortstop, or the second baseman I should say. That's Kinsler, and it's going to be a 1-2-3 inning. So make it 7 straight retired by Kyle Ryan. Tigers baseball today presented by Bell Tire. Go to the bottom of the fifth here at Comerica Park, and just a reminder as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller time later in today's game. Brought to you as always by Miller Lite. Here is J.D. Martinez to get it rolling now for the Tigers. Martinez, Castellanos, and Jared Saltalamacchia. Not a whole lot doing so far against Corey Kluber, who has surrendered just one single. Tigers also have another base runner on an error by Mike Napoli, but that's it.
There's certainly more than one reason for the Tigers offense to get going. And one of the reasons that I'm thinking about is you've got a guy that excellent pitcher on the mound, but you're playing in a game today that you're going to play your own division 19 times. So there's a darn good chance you're going to see Corey Kluber maybe multiple times before the year's over. And you need to send him a message that he can't, we're just not going to roll over here.
And so far, Kluber's had his way.
Yeah, one hit so far, a shutout. Cleveland's offense spotted him a bunch of runs early, and he's just kind of rolling right now.
Kluber has 5 strikeouts in this game. Here's the 0-2. Make it 6. And 1 away. That'll bring up Nick Castellanos, who talks about his Motor City ties.
My mom grew up here. You know, I have a bajillion cousins. You know, I have 2 sets of grandparents that were diehard Tigers fans, Red Wings fans, Lions fans. You know, I've done the whole camping thing all over the state of Michigan. You know, so Detroit definitely sits really well with me. You know, and you know, so whenever people ask me about playing for Detroit, I said besides the cold weather and the 490-foot fence, it's awesome.
Two things.
I got to be missing something there. Where's 490? I want to pitch here if that's the case.
490 might be overstating it. Also, what is exactly a bajillion cousins?
That's a lot. That's a lot. I understood that part. I'm still looking out there for 490.
Nope, I'm not seeing it either. But maybe
hitters.
Sometimes to center field it feels that way.
Oh my! They already moved him. You know, it was a great pitcher's park when they built this place.
Here we go.
And then of course they whined a little bit about that, so they moved the bullpen. Oh, didn't they?
They did whine. Well, there was. I don't know if it was whining. It was
whining.
It was taking issue with the distance.
Yeah. We call it whining in our generation.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Castellanos.
Either case, it's a beautiful ballpark, and today really makes it shine. Just not a good result for Tiger fans so far.
It's low and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So ask and you shall receive. There's a beautiful shot of this beautiful ballpark.
It is gorgeous. Nothing prettier than a ballpark full of fans, and nothing uglier than a beautiful ballpark full of nothing. No fans.
Here's the 2-2 offering. Swing and a miss. He went fishing.
Now Corey Kluber is starting to really rack him up. That's number 7 for him. Gets Nick Castellanos to expand. That's what happens when you're around the plate early in counts. He's got one of the better cutters, sliders. That one just really broke down and away.
Here is Saltalamacchia.
Jarrett struck out his first and only time up in this game against Kluber.
James McCann is getting closer and closer to returning. We showed some footage last night of McCann taking some BP in the cage and catching some bullpens now is one of the last hurdles to make sure that you know, the ankle's going to hold up, and perhaps a rehab assignment coming up. But it shouldn't be too long. Here is Kluber's 1-1. They have not been able to stress out Kluber at all. Really, the only time they did was when they got a runner to third in the third, but couldn't score him.
Yeah, and that was created because of an error on first baseman Mike Napoli, where a ball went through his wickets.
It's a cricket reference, by the way.
Is it?
Yes. High drive into deep right field. That ball is way back, and the Tigers are on the board. Jared Saltalamacchia hits yet another home run, his 6th.
Yeah, 6 already. Showing what kind of power he has. And finally, Detroit gets on the board. Well, all we have to do is talk about how Kluber is on a roll. That ball down in the zone. Middle of the plate.
15 RBIs now for Saltalamacchia this year. 8-1 ball game. There's a strike called on Romine. What a start to the year for Saltalamacchia. Back up the middle, Lindor diving play.
Oh my.
His throw is in time for the out. What a play by Lindor, and what a scoop at first by Napoli.
That was big league all the way.
Back up the middle, the rookie stretching out. What a play. Terrific play by Francisco Lindor, stretching out to rob a hit from Romine. And with more on the Cleveland shortstop, we check in now with Matt Shepard.
Mario, I was fascinated with the conversation you and Jack were having about best right fielders and their arms. Well, maybe kids today will grow up and think guys like Jose Iglesias and Francisco Lindor are some of the best shortstops they've ever seen. This kid finished as a runner-up to Rookie of the Year a year ago, and at 22, he dazzles, marvels with the glove. Jason Kipnis told me earlier today, he said, look, he's already better than I am. Terry Francona said the best thing about him, he wants to get better every single day, and he's a great kid, and this is really what this game is all about. And to show you how much better he wants to get, Mario, last year, first 90 at-bats, he batted 205. The last 348 at-bats, he batted 342. He's over 300 right now. He continues to excel both offensively and defensively, and I know you guys love watching him play, even though he plays for the Tribe. Back to you.
Yeah, Shep, thanks. And the amazing thing about Lindor is he stands only 5'11", 190. That's what he's listed at, so he's not really a big kid.
That's the beauty of baseball, though. You
Agreed.
don't have to be built to a certain body type. If you can do a few things well, you've got a chance. And you can never overjudge a heart.
Santana the batter as we go to the 6th, and Kyle Ryan doing his thing. He has really come out of the bullpen and settled this one down for the Tigers. Couple of 1, 2, 3 innings for Ryan. There's a bouncer left side. Castellanos, easy play. One away. Time for a game break now with Johnny Kane.
The second baseman, Jason Kipnis.
All right, Johnny, a ton of ground ball outs here for Kyle Ryan. I mean, just about everything that he is throwing is being hit on the ground by the Indians.
That's a beautiful thing. So many guys are really excited about striking people out, but when you can be more efficient with your pitches and get that right there, great results. 2 pitches and a ground ball out.
It's another ball hit on the ground. 6 of them now for Ryan. 6 ground outs. Tigers fans, if you can't watch the games on TV, you can now stream games live on your mobile device. Just go to the App Store, download the free Fox Sports Go app, log in, and stream the Tigers wherever you go on Fox Sports Go.
What is it about baseball where a guy makes a defensive play in the field and then he gets to hit the next half inning?
Happens all the time. That ball's hammered to center field. Hit pretty good, but Ghost runs it down, and Lindor is out. Another 1-2-3 for Kyle Ryan. Brought to you by Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. Get Major League coverage. T-Mobile has doubled its 4G LTE in the last year. And by Chevrolet, more than you expect for less than you imagine. Beautiful day over Belle Isle and back inside the ballpark here in downtown Detroit, where the Tigers are down 8-1 in this one. They fell behind early, and they've managed only 1 run against Corey Kluber. The home run by Saul Telemakia is all the Tigers have so far. Here is Anthony Ghost to lead it off. Ball 1 to Ghost, who bounced out 4-3 his first time up.
Mario, earlier in the game you were asking me about pitching with a big lead and what it's like for a pitcher, and I got to believe Corey Kluber, now that he's really settled in, see his pitch count closing in on 70 pitches, so he's about 3/4 of where they want him to be. His main focus is just pounding the strike zone. You don't want to fall behind anybody, as he does 2-0 here on Ghost. Make him put the ball in play. Trust your defense.
And that defense today has turned 1 double play, and they got a spectacular play from Lindor to end the 5th. Kluber now with the 2-1. Down goes Ghost to 1 knee. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
If you're Corey Kluber, you look out there behind you. You've got really good speed in the outfield by all pitcher or all position players there. You've got a guy that's going to be a Gold Glove shortstop. Kipnis is a plus defender at second base. Napoli doesn't have tremendous range, but he's a guy that can catch the ball. He made a great back end of a double play from Lindor. So you've got to trust that they're going to make the plays. There's Kipnis.
Whistled foul, 2-2 the count stays. Kluber has racked up 7 strikeouts in this game. He had 8 games of 10 or more last year, including that season high and career high of 18 against the Cardinals. And he got him, man. He carved up ghost right there. Caught him looking. So make it 8 strikeouts now for Kluber.
Corey Kluber is just really kind of picking up momentum here. There's the last strikeout, number 8 for Corey. But you see the location of some of these pitches down. Gets a double play there for Castellanos. Next one, Upton just swinging right through a ball that's middle in. Good breaking ball there to Victor. So he's throwing a lot of very good pitches.
That's in the air to right field. Chisenhall under it, just about in his tracks for round number 2. And that'll make Ian 0 for 3 in the game. Kluber has equaled his season high with 8 strikeouts. He fanned 8 in his last start too.
Tigers have 3 base runners in this game.
That's it.
A hit from JD. A ball that was hit hard from Romine that went through the legs of Mike Napoli, and then the home run from Salto Malacchio. So it's been a pretty easy, non-stressful day for Corey Kluber.
Here is Justin Upton. Strike 1 on Upton. A couple of strikeouts in this game for Justin, or J Up as he is known in the locker room. Kluber's 0-1. 0-2. Alex Wilson now in the Detroit bullpen.
Well, not much more Brad Ausmus can ask of Kyle Ronnie. He's done a good job, but they can't let him go forever. Alex Wilson needs some innings himself.
Kyle Ryan retiring 10 straight. Now the 1-2. Upton fouls it away. Kluber's had a couple of 1, 2, 3 innings. He's also had one in which he's faced the minimum, helped out by a double play. Two balls, 2 strikes.
Ahead in the count, kind of watch where he wants to go with Justin Upton here. He's already struck him out twice in this ball game. Works very well with Yan Gomes. I think Yan Gomes is an underrated catcher, receiver. He calls a good game. He catches a good game. They're going to go away. Just missing low.
3-2. Should Upton reach? It's Cabrera waiting on deck. Two on, nobody on in the 6th. Here's the 3-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. 3 more strikeouts for Upton. A 1-2-3 inning. Season high in strikeouts for Kluber with 9. Despite the score, the youngsters having fun here at the ballpark. Top 7 now here at Comerica Park. 8-1 in favor of the Indians. Kyle Ryan will answer the bell here in the 7th inning. And he will face Mike Napoli, Yan Gomes, Jose Ramirez. Can't say enough about what Kyle Ryan has done here this afternoon. He's retired 10 straight. Came on in the 3rd when Sanchez was knocked out of the game. Napoli with a single and 3 at-bats. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Certainly right about that. Kyle Ryan has been one of the bright spots in this game for Tiger fans.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Low, 2 balls, 1 strike.
He's been efficient and he's gotten a lot of ground balls. Almost every out he has recorded has been on the ground.
Bouncing ball. This one will find a hole. A single to left field for Napoli.
Here's our 1-800 call Sam call of the game. Brad Ausmus. Ausmus called Kyle Ryan into this game to stop the bleeding, and he's done a great job picking the guy off and basically been very efficient. Had a couple 1, 2, 3 innings, faced the minimum. Done everything that they could ask of him to do, so hopefully he can work through this little mess here with a leadoff base runner to Mike Napoli.
Here is Yan Gomes. He's had a big bat today. He's had 2 hits, 4 RBIs, including a 3-run homer. The 2nd home run of the year for Gomes, and his RBI total now at 9. Modest lead at first base by Napoli. One ball, 1 strike.
Here's our high-speed pitch brought to you by Xfinity. See the highs and lows for Kyle Ryan. 88 with his fastball and change-up off-speed pitch 75. It's not always about gas. He's been great in location, keeping the ball down, getting a lot of ground balls.
Pulled down the left field line. That is going to get down. Another hit for Gomes. Napoli is on his way to 3rd. It rattles around the corner. Now they're going to try and score Napoli, and they will. It'll be a double and an RBI for Yan Gomes. And a 5 RBI day.
Well, this is a tough pitch for a pitcher. You make a very good pitch. Yan Gomes goes down and gets it, hits it in the corner. Justin Upton again having a little trouble corralling that ball that allows a runner that probably would have been held at 3rd at Napoli to score. So end of the day for Kyle Ryan. Overall pitched pretty good game.
And so Ryan will depart, and there's going to be a wall side windows pitching change here in the 7th inning. We'll be back to Comerica. Are celebrating the 2006 team, the 10th anniversary of that team that won the American League Championship. Craig Monroe, our own SEMO, throughout the first pitch. Let's see how he did, Jack. I want your grade here.
You know, anybody that's out of uniform that gets it over is an A+, and that's an A+.
Oh, man, that's the lark on that ball.
Yeah, that's Ephus.
Good job, SEMO.
But he gets a hug.
9-1 ball game. Alex Wilson has come on for the Tigers out of the bullpen now.
See the numbers for Alex this year. 3 strikeouts, no walks.
A couple of appearances after coming off the disabled list. He joined the team on the recent road trip in Houston. There's a ball inside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yesterday we were talking about how Terry Francona has gone to Brian Shaw in a lot of games. Well, I think it's pretty comfortable to say that Brad Ausmus likes bringing in Alex Wilson. He's a very durable guy, and let's hope that he's healthy again. He's seen in a lot of games.
Well, he used Wilson a lot last year. And it got to the point where I think Brad really trusted him last season. In fact, for a little bit of time, the Tigers were struggling in that closer spot, and Wilson was the guy that kind of filled in. One and 2 on Ramirez. That ball is hammered to right field. That'll move J.D. Martinez back, still going back to the warning track to make the catch. Wrong part of the ballpark for Ramirez, but he'll move the runner up. One away. Well, this Sunday the Tigers take on these Indians at 1:10. Tomorrow it's Kids Opening Day. All kids 14 and under receive a free Tigers team baseball card set. Call 866-66-TIGER, or if you'd like, visit tigers.com. One away now for Chisenhall. Infield coming in now, and it's a strike call. Chisenhall had a 3-bagger and scored a run back in the 3rd. That is popped up. This will not get the run in. Romine goes back to the edge of the grass. 2 outs.
Good job from Alex Wilson keeping that ball in the infield. No way are they going to be able to score the runner on that one, on Gomes.
Here is Rajai Davis in the infield back now with 2 outs. We're in the 7th, 9-1 in favor of the Indians. Rajai singled in a run in his 2nd at bat in this game. Left the strike zone there, 0-1.
3 at bats for Rajai, and he swung at the first pitch all 3 times.
Well, aggressive.
Always been told if you see something you like, take a hack at it. You're up by 8 runs.
He's trying to knock home Gomes. Outfield playing a bit toward right. They give up a gap in left center field. Here's the 1-1. Another big swing by Davis. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Rajai, who spent the last 2 years here in Detroit and really was a popular player here in the Motor City.
I think he was a good fit while he was here. Pretty decent numbers, you know. They're not numbers that you're going to go crazy over, but they weren't embarrassing either. I thought he did a nice job.
Signed a 1-year deal in December with the Indians. And there's a line drive, base hit to left center. That'll get another run in. Davis motors around the bag. He's trying for 2. Here's the throw. The tag, safe at second base. A hustle double for Rajai Davis. And another RBI.
Yeah, 2 RBIs for Raj. Alex Wilson, I think, would like to have this last pitch back. It was up a little bit in the zone. Rajay is the kind of guy that will go fishing. So you can bounce a breaking ball there and maybe get him to chase.
So the Indians, who needed some offense in the absence of Michael Brantley, have gotten some from their signing of Rajay Davis. Here's Naquin, who fouls it back.
Well, we talked about it earlier. Get 10 runs and it's hard to lose. And I don't think Corey Kluber will be around to lose this one. If the Tigers could come back with 9 more, tie it up.
Yeah, he's probably pretty safe in that respect. Here's the 0-1 from Wilson, missing high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, I guess you got to hand it to Kluber because, I mean, we looked up and down this Tigers lineup and there were a lot of guys that had huge numbers against Kluber. And he had really struggled over the years against Detroit, but not today.
But with that being said, you got to acknowledge that there are a few guys in the lineup for the Tigers right now that are scuffling at the plate. And the fact that this game got out of hand early did nothing but help Corey Kluber.
That ball hit deep to center field. Anthony Gose showing off the speed. Runs it down. Naquin hit it a mile. Welcome to Comerica Park, young man.
490 out there.
Or so they say. 2 more for the Indians coming up the Consumers Energy 7th inning stretch. It's very lopsided. Corey Kluber pretty good today. Gomes is having a really good day, and Saltalamacchia with a home run for the only Tigers run. As the Indians added 2 more, now lead 10-1. And Miguel Cabrera will face Kluber here in the bottom of the 7th.
Mama said there'd be days like this, and you just wish that they would never happen on your home field in front of your home fans. You'd rather have your clunkers on the road.
Well, the Tigers today have managed only 2 hits for what has turned out to be a really nice crowd here this afternoon. Rifle to the shortstop. Lindor is knocked over, still has time, and he throws him out. Now I've seen it all. He literally knocked Lindor over.
You can't hit a ball any harder than that. Francisco Lindor, I think he's laughing to keep from crying right now. That ball was crushed and it ate him alive, but to his credit, he kept his glove in front of him and trusted his hands and was able to put the glove on the ball. And knowing Miguel in his running, he had time to get back up and throw him out. Man.
Meanwhile, Cabrera has hit 2 missiles in his last 2 at-bats and has nothing. And he almost sawed Lindor in half with that one. Victor Martinez. So now as a hitter like Miguel Cabrera, he's got to feel a little bit better in that he's scalded a couple of balls despite the fact that he's got nothing to show for it, as he tries to bust out of an early season slump. Here's the 1-0 pitch. 2-0.
Take another look at this ball. Just ate up Francisco Lindor, but he got back up, threw a ball across the diamond, and of course his buddies in the Tiger dugout are probably saying a few things to him, and he's having a good time with it.
2-1 now at Victor. Well, it gets back to what you were saying about Kluber earlier. Just throw strikes here and let your defense do the work.
You know, there are days where the ball will be crushed, but the old Adam ball, one of the best friends a pitcher can have. And trust those defense. Those guys can put the leather on the ball.
High, 3-1.
87 pitches here with 1 out in the 7th inning. So he's going to be right around 100, maybe a little under that by the time this inning ends. Giving the bullpen a little rest for Cleveland today.
High, towering fly ball to right field. Chisenhall circling under it for the 2nd out. Just missed it. Victor now is 0 for 3. Fans, follow Tigers baseball live with the MLB.com at Bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with Game Day. Live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone or tablets. And there they are. Dialed into at Bat. Or texting, one of the two. Pulled on the ground at 3rd, foul ball. Kluber has retired 13 of the last 14 that he's faced. Nine strikeouts, a season high for Kluber.
You mentioned it. He just hasn't had a lot of stressful innings.
Not at all. And you know, when you look at pitch count, I guess a lot of that, Jack, is you have to factor in how stressful were those pitches.
Not a walk either. And I think that speaks volumes in today's game.
19 in the first, the most he's thrown in any inning. On the outer edge. 1-2 on Martinez. Swing and a miss, and down he goes. And even 10 strikeouts for Corey Kluber. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire.
by pitch brought to you by Bell Tire. And unfortunately for Anibal Sanchez, the ball was up in the zone almost all day long. Did not have a good one today. And Cleveland got off to a big lead early, and it's been all Cleveland because of that. A lot of changes, Mario.
A lot of changes indeed with a 10-1 score. Brad Ausmus now has gone to the bench. Tyler Collins will come in and play left field. Sal Talamaki is going to switch from catch to first. Mike Aviles is now the new second baseman. Alex Wilson brings it home and throws to Bobby Wilson, the new catcher. 1 ball, no strikes on Carlos Santana. 2 more hits today for Santana, single, double, RBI. Santana, Kipnis, and Lindor. 10 runs, 14 hits for the Indians. 1 run, 2 hits for the Tigers. Ripped down the right field line, hooking foul. 1-2 on Santana.
You mentioned Carlos Santana, 2 for 4 in today's game. Had a big game yesterday. 2 for 4 with a home run. So he's having a pretty good series here at Comerica.
10 RBIs on the year now for Santana.
And this is all after Terry Francona decided to try him at the leadoff spot.
He did it last night against Verlander. That paid dividends. In this series, the first time that Santana has batted leadoff in his career. And he'll take a ball outside, 3-2. A lot of that has to do with his high on base percentage. Santana's always been very good at taking a walk, was second in the American League last year. Here's the 3-2. I guess sometimes as a manager you get those gut feelings to try something new, and last night and even today it's worked out for Francona.
Gut feelings is a stretch. Sometimes you just decide, you know what, it's not working this way. Let's just roll the dice and try it a different way. All within the thought in mind that you're going to go back to the way it was. You're just trying to get a guy out of a funk.
Sal Talamaki makes the play, 1 gone. Here's the upcoming matchup presented by Gordon Chevrolet. It's the final game of the series. And tomorrow, Shane Green against Carlos Carrasco.
Tigers saw a very good pitching performance last night in Josh Tomlin. Now it's been followed up from Corey Kluber. Carlos Carrasco on the hill tomorrow. He's got the best record of all 3 of them so far, and maybe the toughest early in this season for Cleveland. So it's going to be an uphill climb for Tiger offense.
Jason Kipnis, the batter. Speaking of trying something new as a manager, shaking it up a little bit. I always think about that story of Billy Martin back in the day, who supposedly put all of his players in a cap, the names in a cap, and then just pulled out players for his lineup that day. Now, that's an odd way of doing it.
In between innings, I'll explain something that probably was behind the scenes in that.
Why in between innings, Jack? 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Because I don't know if it's factual.
Gotcha.
And here at Fox Sports, we
deal in facts.
state the facts, folks.
That's right. We may bend them every now and then, but there's some truth to what we say, typically.
Say it with confidence and they might believe you.
That's right. 2-2 on Kipnis. Single walk run scored for Kipnis. Now the 2-2. Low, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Sanchez started this game, then Kyle Ryan came out of the pen, did good work. Now Alex Wilson here in the 8th. Soft line drive to left. That'll be a base hit. It's a 1-out single for Kipnis, his second hit.
Blaine Hardy, the left-hander, throwing now in the Tiger bullpen.
Here's Francisco Lindor. This is a 15-hit day for the Indians offense today.
Everybody in on the act. The entire lineup has got at least one hit.
Lindor looks at a strike. Hit one deep to center his last time up. It was run down by Gose. 1 for 3 with a walk. Swing and a miss. The 15 hits now is a season high for the Indians.
That's old school, the way he's wearing those socks. Got the stirrups that are pulled high.
It's a good look.
Not for everybody.
Well, I love the old school look. Now, well, I would imagine there are some body types where that's not a good look.
When you're a slender young athlete like Lindor, I think he could wear it anyway and it's going to look good.
Wilson ready with the 0-2. Way high, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tigers wrap up the series here tomorrow, and then the Athletics come to town. Our first look at the A's this year. Swing and a miss. Challenged him up and threw it by him. 2 gone.
Lindor might have tried to overswing there. Brad's coming out. Maybe that'll be it for Alex Wilson. Good to see him on the mound and getting a strikeout there. One of the better hitters in the game. That's it.
So Wilson is done for the day. Tigers go back to the bullpen. Blaine Hardy will be checking in. We'll be back. Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. When it's time, come to Comerica. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. Well, a lot of kids out at the ballpark today, and unfortunately the score is a bit lopsided, but still a gorgeous afternoon here in downtown Detroit. Blaine Hardy will check in now for the Tigers, and he will miss inside to Mike Napoli.
Hasn't been used a lot. You mentioned that he's coming off an injury, but his second game.
Pulled foul. Hardy on here with 2 outs and a man aboard. He, along with Wilson, were 2 of the better performers out of a Tigers bullpen last year that really struggled. And when they went out and got Justin Wilson and Mark Lowe and Francisco Rodriguez, Hardy and Wilson just made it that much deeper with their return. Two and one on Napoli.
It's fair to say that nobody has enough pitching, and that through the course of a season there's going to be a lot of bodies go up and down and injuries, and it just happens. It's the way the game is today.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
So I guess my message to all you young pitchers out there is work hard, persevere. Don't get discouraged because of a setback.
Low 3-2. That's why sometimes when general managers go out and make some deals that are not the big splashes in the offseason to kind of build depth in the organization, those are deals that are overlooked sometimes, but oftentimes prove to be important. Back up the middle on a ground ball. Avilos gobbles it up. And that is that in the 8th inning for the Indians. We go to the bottom of the 8th. In favor of the Indians as we go to the bottom of the 8th back here at the ballpark. Mario and Jack, we're glad to have you with us today despite the score here this afternoon. And Jack, talk about Anibal Sanchez a little bit. They jumped him early, and Sanchez again giving up some long balls in this game, and it was just not his day today.
It wasn't. Command being the issue early. He threw too many pitches and elevated too many of those balls that he was trying to get down in the zone. Cleveland took advantage of it. They piled up a bunch early, and it just we have those games as starters. It's tough to accept, but Anibal did not have his best stuff.
And Corey Kluber today was really good, and Kluber's still out there, but you look at his numbers career against the Tigers, not so good, but today's had their number.
Well, I think a lot of that had to do with the confidence he gained early in this ball game because of the run support that he got. Here's a guy that's had a lot of games in his career, especially over the last year and a half, where he hasn't had a lot of run support. So these are the kind of games for a great pitcher that can kind of get you back on track. Corey Kluber came into the game with 3 straight losses and a 6+ ERA, and he's throwing a shutout on 2 hits today. So a little different look.
Nick Castellanos, double play ball and a fly out. He is 0 for 2. Kluber just giving up a couple of hits. That's it. High towering fly ball to left center field. A lot of room out there. Naquin going back to the warning track to make the catch right in front of the wall. One away. Here is the Magic Moonshot presented by Magic Window. And it's going to be Jared Saltalamacchia back in the 5th.
One pitch that maybe Corey Kluber would like to get back. He had struck out Salty on a high fastball in the previous at bat, and that one he kept down. And really, pitchers would prefer to throw that ball in that location. Salty went down and just yanked it to right field.
The shift now against Saltalamacchia as he looks at a strike 0-1. Kipnis in short right field. Here's the 0-1. That one got home plate umpire Adrian Johnson. Ooh, left arm. Now Kluber ready with the 0-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Saltalamacchia. Romine waiting on deck. So Kluber is zeroing in on 100. This will be his 99th pitch of the afternoon. And it's hit in the air to right field. This time Chisenhall is under it for the out.
Brad Ausmus allowed Justin Verlander to throw 118, and I know that Terry Francona has a lot of confidence in Corey Kluber as his go-to guy, so he's going to for sure let him get through this half inning.
109 the season high for Kluber. Here's Romine. Bouncing ball, that is a foul ball. No, fair ball. Thought I heard the umpire say foul, but it's right at the first baseman Napoli. And it's going to be a 1-2-3 for Kluber, who has been on his game today. We'll head to the 9th here at Comerica.
And Rod Allen will talk with an Indian who's had himself a day, and there's a number of different Indians who have done that. We'll go inside the Tigers clubhouse. We'll talk with Brad Ausmus. We'll talk with Anibal Sanchez, Kyle Ryan, Jared Saltalamacchia, and a whole lot more. All the reaction to what has taken place today. Mario and Jack, a season best in runs and hits for the Tribe, unfortunately, on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. Back upstairs to you.
Yeah, Shep, otherwise great day, but the score a little lopsided in the wrong way today. 10-1 as we go to the 9th inning. Yan Gomes facing Hardy. It'll be Gomes, Ramirez, and Chisenhall. Here's the 1-1, and it's outside. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Yan Gomes having one of his better days in this 2016 season. Single, double, and a home run, and a pile of RBIs. So he's having quite a day.
That's in the air. Foul ground, and Castellanos measuring it up against the railing, unable to make the play.
I don't know if you caught what I just caught, but did you hear the sound effects there?
It was a pretty good thud.
Now, is there a microphone down the end of the dugout,
Yes.
or is that just, again, our slick bang crew in the audio department?
No, I'm assuming there is one. There it is, right there.
Wow.
Right at the edge of the dugout. We got them everywhere.
Yeah, we do.
In the air to center for Ghosts. Anthony Camps under it, 1 gone. Here is Jose Ramirez. So the Tigers once again stymied offensively in this game. They managed only 4 hits last night against Tomlin, their starter, and a couple of relievers. Kluber has held him to 2 hits today. No balls, 1 strike. Way high, 1-1 on Ramirez. Oakland comes in on Monday. Not too many people thought they would get off the start they have gotten off to. Everybody was talking about Houston in the West. The Astros off to a 5-12 start, but the A's are in first place out in the American League West.
Dan Otero came from Oakland over to Cleveland, and maybe Terry Francona is going to let him finish it off for Corey Kluber. Hasn't worked in this series yet.
Now the 3-1. Full count on Jose Ramirez. RBI single. Ghost made a diving play on his shallow fly ball in the 4th inning. High fly ball, shallow left. Tyler Collins coming in. 2 gone. Hey, see the Tigers take on the Oakland A's this Tuesday at 7:10. The first 10,000 fans receive a free Detroit Tigers 2016/17 wall calendar. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. Strike 1 on Lonnie Chisenhall. Ball inside.
Chisenhall tripled in that big 5-run 3rd inning and ended up scoring on an RBI from Rajay Davis.
Chisenhall still trying to find his timing offensively after missing much of spring camp with a bad wrist and a bad forearm as well. Had some soreness in his forearm. That'll go high for ball 2. 2-2 the count. Indians trying to climb over 500 with a win today. They're 3 outs away from that. That's in the air toward shallow center field. And it's going to be Ghost calling everybody off. 3 fly ball outs here in the 9th. We go to the bottom half. All Cleveland today.
John's freaky fast delivery of the game, and it was certainly a big delivery for Corey Kluber today. He was just on point. It was one of those games where I think Cleveland fans really was hoping that he would get that run support that he got early, and he really delivered with the quality start. Only the one home run that kept him from a shutout today. Dan Otero will be coming in and trying to work the ninth inning, close the door for a try.
So Otero will go to work now against Anthony Gose. Kluber threw 100 pitches, 10 strikeouts, no walks. Gose, then Aviles, then Collins. The former Oakland Athletic brings it home. Dan Otero, and it's outside 1-0. The A's waived Otero last November, was picked up by the Philadelphia Phillies and then traded to the Indians. So while he was part of the Phillies organization, did not pitch for their big club.
For a period of time, Dan Otero was a big part of that Oakland bullpen.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
As I watch him throw the first few pitches here to Anthony Gose, it almost looks like he's aiming the ball a little bit. Trying to be very, very fine.
Here's the 2-1. 2-2 on Gose.
Good off-speed pitch there. Same arm angle, same arm spot, but took a little off and just a little bit.
Gose, a ground out and a strikeout in this game. Kluber retired the final 10 straight that he faced. Swing and a miss, and down goes Gose.
Just a good sequence of pitches right there for Dan Otero. Went away, and then the last pitch was off the plate away, and he got him to chase it. th strikeout for Detroit today.
First at bat for Mike Aviles. Took over for Ian Kinsler defensively. And Aviles looks at a strike on the outer edge. So Kinsler, by the way, his 10-game hitting streak will come to an end. He was 0 for 3. Now the 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 2 Tigers hits in this game, a single for J.D. Martinez, a home run for Saltalamacchia. One and 2 on Aviles. And that one just missed in the outside corner, a little bit low as well. Otero back in 2013 had an ERA of 1.38 out of their bullpen, the A's bullpen. Jack was talking about how good of the numbers he had with the Athletics. Following year in 72 appearances, a 2.28 ERA, so he was indeed a pretty good piece for them.
Yes, he was. Mike Aviles, I'm sure you've already talked about it, but spent a lot of his career in this Central Division of the American League. Kansas City, Cleveland, and now here in Detroit.
Very familiar with the Central. 2-2 on Aviles. Playing time has been sparse for Aviles and Romine, the 2 utility players the Tigers have on their roster. Chopped to the left side of the infield. Nice high hop there. And Aviles is out, 2 gone. That'll leave it up to Tyler Collins. Tigers will fall to 8-8 on the season with a loss here today.
Cleveland will actually jump in front of them percentage-wise. It'll be 8-7.
Fouled away, 0-1. Royals came in leading the American League Central. They won again last night, 11-5. 11-5 is their record. Chicago 11 wins as well. Here's the 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike on Tyler Collins. One and 2. Collins came in for Justin Upton. And he takes low, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, and that'll do it from Comerica Park. Tigers go 1-2-3 here in the 9th. They managed only 2 hits today. Corey Kluber was outstanding, and the Indians have won the first 2 in the series.
Just like we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Time Moment, brought to you by Miller Lite. And it was all about Yan Gomes today. His first at bat, a single, an RBI. His second at bat, home run to left field. That scores 3. That's 4 RBIs, and then a double down the left field line. Also scores another RBI. A big day for Yan Gomes and Cleveland. It was all Cleveland today.
15 hits for the Indians today. They win it 10-1. We'll be back to Comerica Park.